Alrighty, cherubs. So today we're going to be talking about the Italian Baroque. So we're moving out of the Renaissance and into this next time period here. Okay. The Baroque is what happens as a result of the Reformation. Okay, in the 1600s, the 17th century in Europe. The Reformation happens, and half of Europe breaks away from the Catholic Church. Um, the Catholic Church is going to hold a council. It's called the Council of Trent, in which they come up with a game plan. Like, how are we going to deal with losing half of Christianity? Like, what are they going to do? So it's this big existential crisis moment for the Catholic Church. And they decide that they are going to have what's called a counter-reformation, in which they take they create a list of things that, okay, this is what we need to change. This is what we're going to keep, and this is what we're going to let go. Okay. Some of the things that they decide that they're going to let go are the indulgences and some of the obvious corruption there. And then some of the things that they decide that they're going to keep, they're going to answer directly to the Reformation, or respond directly to the Reformation questions. Like, the Reformation is going to say that art is too much. They're going to, and we talked about that last time, like, they're going to get rid of their art. So the Catholic Church is like, no, we like our art because it inspires people. So we're going to keep that. The Reformation is going to say, what's with the saints? Too much Mary. We want to talk to Jesus. And the Catholic Church is going to say, nope, we like the saints and we like Mary, and we're going to hang on to those elements as well. Okay, you're also going to have, at this time period, you're going to have a group led by Ignatius of Loyola. He's going to be a soldier who's also a priest, who's also a highly religious person, a Catholic person, who is going to form a society. It's called the Society of Jesus, or the Jesuits, and they're going to be a militant, quasi-militant missionary branch of the church. They are going to spread Christianity with love and sometimes with the sword. And by Christianity, I mean Catholicism, to the New World and back at home. Okay? So we're going to see them play out here today as well. Counter-Reformation, again, they're going to inspire art. And so their art is they want art to say, no, we're hanging on to this. We want to keep this element of our worship. And it's got to be spectacular. Not only is it going to be just like pretty, it's got to be spectacular. So we're going to make a shift here from the thinky of the Renaissance to the feely of the Baroque, because this is the moment when they're like, no, we want to like get you in the gut and get you in the heart and get you to feel something to stay in the Catholic Church. Okay. So that's what they're going to be doing, and that's pretty much basically what the Baroque is about. It's using art as propaganda, and we're going to see it as done several different ways throughout both Catholic and Protestant Europe. Okay, and with several different end goals. In Italy, the point of the Baroque art is to say, hey, come back to Mother Church, come back to the Catholic Church. We've got this. I mean, you walk into these glorious spaces that are going to be created, and we've got these great new artists that are telling stories in ways that have never been told before. Right? So this is what Europe is looking like at the time. So the cream color here, this is still Catholic. Everything else is no longer Catholic. So up into, there was always the East-West split between the Orthodoxy and Catholicism, but all of this is now gone. all of this is gone. England is gone. All the North countries are gone. So we have a problem here for the power of the papacy, right? Now, Baroque art is going to look very different than, and hopefully you'll notice the difference from Renaissance art. Well, Renaissance art was very quiet, very restrained, very balanced and symmetrical and harmonious, equilateral triangles. Okay. In the Baroque, we're going to get high drama. Architecture is going to be treated like theater. Sculpture is going to be treated like theater. Painting is going to be treated like theater. Okay, everything is done theatrically and very purposefully. Things are going to be theatrically lit to provide this drama and this emotional gut, like, oh, wow, spectacle. Okay, they're going to love an oval shape, very dynamic. Okay, look for that. They're going to love movement as opposed to a calm, serene look. They want high drama, high movement, high action. Look for the power of light. What does light look like now? In the Renaissance, it looked very crystalline clear. Like, think back to the School of Athens or to the Last Supper, where everything's just very evenly lit, just so you can see it. It's mathematically lit. We're not going to do that anymore in the Baroque. It's going to be very intense. And also look for mixed media. They're going to combine media, and nothing's going to stay like pure whatever it is anymore. They're going to combine media to make it, again, more dramatic. Okay. In the Italian Baroque, the clergy and the Pope are still going to remain as the patrons. And Rome looks the way it does today because of the Baroque period. And the Baroque is the style of a lot of what's happening, again, down in Spain at the same time. So Spain's going to look the way it does. And we'll get to Spain in a couple classes. But Spain looks the way it does because of that as well, as does Spanish architecture in the New World because of the Baroque. Okay, so old original Catholic churches down in Latin America, in Mexico, South America, Central America, are all influenced by this Baroque style. Okay, so again, they want to show off Rome as the birthplace of this new look, this new movement, and so they're going to decorate and redesign buildings in this way. So here we're going to have three churches, a statue within, a painting within, and then just a painting. Okay. And it's all in Italy. So here we are. Our first church is pretty early, and now check it out. Now you look at this building and you think to yourself, well, that doesn't look very dramatic, Mr. Oberlin. You're right. You're absolutely right. This is Il Gesu, and it is done. Giacomo della Porta is the architect of the facade, the front of the church. Okay, now remember, they're not going to have a giant westwork here in Italy. They don't do that here. Instead, what they're going to have is they're going to combine medieval and Renaissance Greco-Roman techniques. So you see across the front, we're getting pilasters. Look at all the pilasters. We're getting engaged columns. We're getting a tympanum. There's several tympana, but there's also, it's combined here with a pediment. So we're getting like a medieval church and a Greek temple simultaneously. So up top here, you'll notice that we've got pediments, and down below here, we've got two pediments here, but then we've got all these tympana. Okay, so they're combining elements from the Greco-Roman style, the Renaissance style, as well as from the medieval style. Right. You're also going to see that the top and the bottom are separated by this cornice with this dedicatory inscription right here. But they're going to be combined visually with these scrolls to the side that kind of lift you up. So your eye isn't meant to stop. Okay, it's meant to stop, look around, and then get pulled up by the scrolls. Really, really cool. Now notice how deep, and we're going to see this get even crazier as we move throughout the Baroque period, that the pilasters are normally very, very shallow. Okay, these are not shallow, these are deep, and they're very deep, so they create this alternating pattern of light dark, light dark, light dark, light dark. So you visually go like this, where you're like coming in and out, and it pulls you in and out. Like, whoa, that's cool. What does the inside look like? Okay. Il Gesu is the headquartered church, the foundation church for the Jesuits. Okay. This is the center of the Jesuit order within the Catholic Church. And this is what it looks like on the inside. Think back to Brunelleschi's The Pazzi Chapel and compare it to this. And this is like this explosion of color and drama and technique, and you can see how the mathematical like simplicity of the early Italian Renaissance with Brunelleschi is done away with. Here in the arches, again, this is kind of like Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel on steroids, where you've got these in the pendentives, you've got architectural pieces and little characters that are bursting out, and they're actually sculpted slightly onto the roof, onto the ceiling, and you've got these scenes that are bursting out. They're not even contained within their frames, but they're spilling out onto the surrounding surfaces. So just the color, the extravagance of the moment is supposed to inspire you, and it is an awe-inspiring sight. Go ahead and watch this video. I'll link it right here above so that you can see this. This is really, really, really amazing. Just kind of this view of the church. And this is where Ignatius of Loyola is going to be buried. And they have this altar. The main altar is, because he's going to be buried below the altar. This is where it's going to be like, again, this is very Baroque, and this is very, very cool, where like once a day, there's this moment where there's the painted altar scene, the altar piece behind the altar. It's gonna drop, like the painting in, so it's sitting in its frame. Just watch the clip, and the painting drops, and there's this great sculpture of Ignatius of Loyola back there, peeking out then, and you get to see it. But it only happens once a day. Otherwise, then it closes back up. And the theatricality of that moment, of the automation, they're going to have people on, ropes and pulleys doing this, but that seemingly magical moment of, whoa, that's so cool. Baroque. Okay. So again, this is the principal church of the Jesuit order, and it leads us towards the center. We get this crescendo of forms towards the center, and again, that alternating light-dark pattern. Now, the interior has no side aisles. It's just a nave, and it's meant for grand spectacle. Okay. Now, the roof is this glorious barrel vault, and with this painting in the middle, and it's called The Triumph in the Name of Jesus. Okay, where you have you're going to have a Christogram, okay? IHS, which is a Christogram. They're letters that stand for the name of Jesus, okay? Instead of a physical depiction of his body, you're just getting the spiritual kind of this metaphor for Jesus, glowing, the name of Jesus, triumph in the name of Jesus there, and the contents are spilling out like the heavens are open. You're looking up into heaven, and heaven is spilling out into this church. And that's kind of the point, okay? Where you stand below and you look up. So it's this ceiling painting, but it's supposed to be, again, this trompe l'oeil effect where it looks like it's just peeling back. And so what you're seeing here are these fantastic like angels and saints on clouds, and the clouds are spilling out and they're casting shadows onto the painted shadows onto the ceiling. And you have these great architectural moments, but these aren't real statues up there. They're going to be just painted elements. um kind of, because what they're also going to be doing is they're going to be troweling on very thick plaster and kind of sculpting it. So it's not an actual, like, 4-ton marble statue here, but it's plaster. And these elements are done in plaster to look like. So it adds actual dimensionality to the ceiling. So it's, again, multimedia experience here. And it's just nothing that anything that happened in the Renaissance it was conceived. Like it's just so much grander, and that's the point. It's meant to take your breath away, and it certainly does. So this is Triumph in the Name of Jesus. Okay, here's the picture of, or here's where we watch the painting descend. So very cool. Oops. Go ahead and give that a watch again. I'll link that above. Now um, the word that we call from the illusion from below, where it's pulling you upward, it's desat in su. Okay, desat in su. It's the illusion from below, where you look up and it looks like it's peeled back, and you can see it from all sides. And you look around it, and it's this painting meant to be viewed from all sides. So again, it's to open up the space visually, but also to invite you to heaven, quite literally. And it depicting that last judgment scene, the blessed are rising. They're not showing us, not focusing on the damned as much as they are on the saved. Here we get a couple damned, but the emphasis is on the saving. And that's kind of a response again to the Reformation. Like, no, you're saved. Come on back. Come on back. Okay. In that sea of gold, you're getting that the Christogram. Okay. The artist Gauli is the artist who's going to create this piece. Let's go back here to the title card here. Giovanni Battista Gauli, okay, is the artist who's going to paint this scene. Good heavens, I'm having troubles. Okay, and he's going to study under this guy, Gian Lorenzo Bernini, and we're going to talk about him. So just keep that in the back of your head. That Gauli is a student of Bernini, who's his multimedia master. And Gauli is the one who paints that scene. Okay, so that is Il Gesu, the headquarter church of the Jesuit order. Okay, now